Yo, what's going on, everybody? Before we actually get into the video, I actually just want to give a brief little message to you guys saying that I am opening up the mentorship starting next week, right? I'm going to be uploading my form in the description, so fill it out if you guys are interested. Where every single day I'm breaking down the markets. Every single week I'm doing a weekly market outlook. I'm doing live back testing. I'm doing a one-on-one, and I'm teaching people how to trade exactly like this. In this video, we're going to be going over every market that we trade and kind of just setting up for the week. Again, this is something I do weekly every single time and get some real live insight into the market, right? So we're going to head into the video now. Hope you guys enjoy. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to a brand new video. I haven't posted in 2 weeks, as you guys seen, and it's just been a rough couple of weeks, right? Just, balancing shit out, balancing life out, but we're back. And today's video, I kind of wanted to drop this on Sunday. I haven't done one of these videos in a while, and basically it's just going to be a market outlook and how I'm going through the pairs, right? And it's going to be a quick video, and we're going to be running through YM, ES, and NQ, right? If you guys know, I have never traded anything but NQ. Very rarely would I trade ES, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what pairs I'm going to be looking at, what setups I'm going to be looking at targeting into Monday. We're going to be looking at the Forex outlook in terms of news, Forex Factory, and we're going to see what days and what pairs are going to be primed to be traded this week, right? I'm hoping and I'm looking for a big week. I fell behind on the combine that I want to show you guys, and I just want to, capitalize on this week. Hopefully there isn't much of a stutter here, or hopefully there isn't much of a echo in here. I'm going to try my best to try to limit that as much as I can. I'm having trouble with the mic, as you see right here. So let's get into it. Let's get into the markets. So the first of the pairs that we're going to look at is going to be NQ, okay? And the reason why is because it's my primary pair, right? And I always look at the daily time frame. We're actually, in this video, you're not going to see us really go into the H4 time frame, H1 time frame, because this isn't a pair breakdown. This is what I think is going to happen going into the week, right? Well, we might actually, but we're going to be heavily focused on the daily time frame and reading the candles from the previous days before, specifically the previous daily close, high and lows, right? So we're going to go into NQ right here, okay? And we can see that, when you zoom out, price had this huge drop on NQ, right? We've been bearish ever since 22,500, and we've dropped all the way down to 19,500, which is a huge drop in the market, right? Price comes down and has consolidated throughout this range this entire time. So it isn't the best market in general to be trading right now, right? For me personally, when I look at a pair and I decide whether it's a prime market to trade that day, it's, with the daily candle, I like big expansions, right? So you see over here is just big expansions, expand, retest, expand, pull back, expand. We're getting big candles, but now we're starting to, not only have shorter candles, but we're having candles like this one, right? We're having candles like this one that's not even taking the lows or the highs. It's staying within the previous daily's range, right? And usually when I see that, I usually don't like to trade that market. Now, I'm going into Monday. What I'm going to be doing is looking at Friday, right? And I'm going to be looking at Friday's candle, right? And, what do I see on NQ? I can see that price has dropped, and you can kind of see that price is starting to round out down here, right? Price is starting to potentially start to flip to correct this entire move down that it had, right? But that's just not enough. That's just something I'm pointing out. What I really like is Friday's candle taking out the previous daily low, okay? Taking out the previous daily low. It wicked, and we have a high momentum daily candle pushing upwards, right? Now, for me, what am I going to label this as? Bullish/weak. And what I mean by that is it's still a weak pair to trade. It's not a crazy candle that I love. We're still in the consolidation. But if I had to go and trade this pair, I would be going bullish, and I would only be looking for bullish scenarios here. Price takes out the low. Price expanded upwards, price closed high momentum. These are the things you have to be looking at, right? And the reason why I'm going to go to the lower time frames is because we have generated buy side liquidity throughout the market over here. That price is most likely going to go look to reach out to, right? Here you have your previous daily low. Price expands, price engulfs, price continues to push higher, and I do believe that if the market's going to do something, it is most likely going to push upwards, right? And reach these highs right here. So on top of that, when you go to the 4-hour time frame, this is something I missed on Friday's trade. Price actually takes out this sell side right here and then pushes up. So we have so many confluences in which NQ could potentially continue to go higher here, which I really, really love. So again, NQ It's a little weaker, but I am bullish on this market. Now, when we're looking at ES, right? ES is a little different, right? Usually ES and NQ are correlating assets, and they usually move and tend to move the same way. But you can see here that price is actually pushing up more than NQ has, right? What do I see here? Almost the same thing. I like the fact on ES that price is pushing forward. The reason why is because it's more of a defining order flow, right? There is no if, ands, or buts, right? This is a bullish order flow after a massive drop, right? And price could be looking to just, rebalance out levels, right? We have that weekly opening gap right here that we finally tapped into, right? Price taps into it and then price closes, right? That's very important to notice. Is that this new weekly opening gap got tapped into, and also this weekly fair value gap got tapped into, right? So on top of that, with this big massive drop, it's going to be tough to say. It's going to be hard to really go long from here, even though the daily time frame is kind of pushing upwards, right? The daily time frame here, the daily candle, it's not correlating with the higher time frame, right? The weekly time frame could potentially start going short here, based on filling out that gap, and also based on rebalancing out that fair value gap on the weekly time frame, right? And that's what this push up could be, right? So we could see the market move lower, but the daily time frame does what? The daily time frame is sweeping out the previous daily lows. Friday's candle closes back up. Bears are having a hard time pushing the market lower, right? And that's where it kind of gets tricky, and that's why I would probably label ES as a weak pair, stay away until I get more definitive action here, right? Until I get more action here, I'm gonna probably just bite my tongue on this one and not trade it at all. Reason being is because if I had to go one way, it would probably most likely go short based on the weekly time frame getting filled, weekly fair value gap getting filled. The 4-hour time frame has no imbalances to the upside that it can balance out or the downside. And yeah, we do have one down here though, right? But what would send the market down this way, right? And that's just something we'd have to look at. So I don't love this market. I'm not a fan of it. I do not like it. If you just look at it now, there isn't much for me to really break down here, right? There isn't a lot. It's, weekly time frame could be going short. You just don't know when, right? You don't want the market to push up higher before it starts to drop. Daily time frame is pulling back slightly, but nothing crazy. There are no imbalances on the daily time frame that can be balanced out. And even after you have this gap fill right here, right? Price pushes down and the market has a tough time pushing down. So you have to remember, what are you looking at? You're looking at the gap getting filled in, right? What happened after the gap? Price rejects, and then the market fails to continue to push lower, meaning we could continue to push higher. You just have to wait and see, right? There isn't much here. So when it comes to ES, we're just going to mark this week. I'm probably not going to trade this going into Monday. My eyes for now are going to be on NQ. And now we head to YM. See, now on YM, the gap that never got filled is a little bit higher, which I actually like. The reason being is because, one, we can use that as our draw. And then two, when you look at the daily time frame, we have something we're aiming for. Price is heavily bullish. I would not really look to short this at all, right? If you look over here, last 4 daily candles that printed, bullish, 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 right? Neutral. And then look at this one. Sweeps previous daily low. And price is continuing to push higher and ends in like a little pin bar, right? We do have a lot of momentum to go long. Now, when I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, right? When I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, looks like we turtle soup that previous daily low, right? Friday comes down, Friday pushes up, right? Our new previous daily low is going to be down here eventually, right? When we open up on Monday, that's what we're going to be looking at. But that's what happened on Friday. Price swept out that previous daily low over here, and price continued to break under, break back above, turtle soup action, and price is pushing up. I do believe that we are going to reach for these highs over here, and on top of these highs, I do believe that we're actually going to reach for this end wall all the way up here, or end dog. What could send the market over there? I can already show you right here. If it's not too late, the market still has created a H1 fair value gap all the way down here. Price comes down and already respects it on Friday, late Friday at 3 p.m. And then in the Asia hours, market closure into the weekend, price is pushing bullish. So we're gonna have to wait and see, right? This would be a beautiful trade for me if this was in session, if this was coming into Monday and we had this, if we came into Monday, this is definitely the asset that's looking the most promising to me for the week, to start off the week, right? Price is bullish, price comes down, price creates a fair value gap, price sweeps previous daily low on previous day, price pushes up. Price also has a change in the state on the 1 hour, creating a order block right here on the 1 hour time frame. Price is rejecting that, and then guess what? Next candle prints higher, pushing up. This would be the most beautiful trade, and honestly, I'm going to be looking for YM to expand. So all in all, in theory, what I am looking for is for price to go long on YM. My two favorite pairs for the week coming into the week is YM and NQ. I'm only going to be big on one going into the day, right? Trade multiple assets. Again, what we had on NQ is price has a most likely of a bigger chance to go and retest this end dog all the way up here, but YM is looking the most promising out of all of them. Yes, I'm not going to be touching. Now, that is just my opinion. These are my analysis, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'm having some exciting news coming up, and it has to do with what I talked about in the beginning. I hope you guys are interested. I hope you guys are in the description. Everything is in the description. My Telegram, my Instagram, my email, anything you guys need. I always respond to DMs and comments. Let me know if you guys need anything. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.